Hello and welcome to the channel. We are now on to week 4 of our weekly updates. So if you're familiar with the channel, you'll obviously recognise a few of the cars that we're going on in this video. But please do continue to like and subscribe to the channel. The numbers are growing, which is great. But here we are on a Monday morning. Hope you all had a good weekend. And we've got kind of a plan of the week to start going. We've obviously got this Jaguar XJ, of which we cleaned that on Friday afternoon, or Sophie cleaned that on Friday afternoon on the interior. So we're going to get that outside in a moment to clean the exterior. But we've got a bit of running around to do first. It is the 30th, and we had a customer with a Porsche Panamera that they purchased from us, booked in to have the aircon compressor done. But they had a different warning light come on as they were bringing it to us yesterday, to the effect of you need to top up the coolant. Although the coolant on the level in the bottle looks right, it's saying do not drive. And of course there is a hybrid system which has its own cooling system. So we both decided probably wasn't worth the risk. So I've got to go and recover that at some point to then bring it to the workshop. So it's another thing to investigate. Again, very fortunate. They're very nice people and very understanding that of course they are cars and things do happen. So yeah, we'll go and recover that shortly this morning. And then we've also got to get this Range Rover down to John, body shop man, to do a repair on the rear bumper here. You see it's creased up. It's where my customers unfortunately backed something into it. So that just needs a slight repair on there. So we're going to drop that down to him in just a moment. And then we're going to start cleaning the Range Rover as well. So we'll probably swap this Range Rover SVO Autobiography, which is a stunning bit of new kit that we've got into the showroom this week, for the Jaguar that's inside, so we can clean the exterior of the Jaguar to photograph and advertise that later this afternoon. It is supposed to brighten up. Hopefully it does, because obviously cars always look nicer in the photos. We've also sold the Mercedes-Benz GLE over the weekend, which I was anticipating we wouldn't have that for very long, just because obviously it looks great with the kit. It's in black, it's the Premium Plus with some really cool alloy wheels, and really good value. I know it's done the miles, but the value is exceptional for, you know, it's a lot of car for the money really. So we've got to get that over to the workshops as well for an MOT this morning. So yeah, fair bit of running around to do, but we'll get there. Whew, right, it is just gone 7 o'clock, 7:05 on the Monday afternoon, or I should say evening now, and what a day it's been. It's been one to really test me today, but we've made progress. We have had some things go right. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, we had to go and recover a Porsche, but on the way, literally on the way to Exeter to go and get the car to put onto my trailer had a leaf spring that decided to just, not be a leaf spring anymore and completely break, which meant that I had a terrible vibration as I was driving along. Fortunately, that hasn't happened on my trip last week where we had to go to Brighton. So that is good news in that respect. It just so happens to be that we were on the way to Exeter, or I was on the way to Exeter. Leaf spring decided it didn't want to be a leaf spring anymore. It broke, had a terrible vibration, the whole rear wheel was loose. So obviously not very safe to drive with. So I ended up taking it to Western Towing, which are a company in Exeter. They used to have a branch in Newton Abbot, which I would use to look after my trailer. But they closed that one down and went to Exeter, but still had a good relationship with the guys there. So took the trailer straight into them. They're going to have it for the next couple of days to repair the leaf ring. I said give it a good service at the same time, because obviously I don't want it to be that it's going to be letting me down again anytime soon. So they're going to have a good look at that to make sure what it needs to be, which then meant I of course had to reschedule my Porsche customers, of which they're absolutely fine with. I continued on to go and see them just to show willing that, you know, I was on the way to you to make sure that we could get your Porsche back. So that's, I'm hoping, and so are Western Towing, that my trailer should be completed by tomorrow afternoon, Tuesday afternoon. They can order the bits in overnight tonight. And then my plan is to pick that up first thing on Wednesday, to then go straight onto my customer's house to get the car from them to take it to the specialist that we've got it booked in with. And again, fortunately, the specialists are very accommodating for it. These things happen, of which they're pretty happy for us to drop it in later this week, and they'll still get around to it when they can. So yeah, it just takes so much time of your day when things don't go quite right like that. The GLE went to the workshops. That's had a fresh MOT with no advisories, which I'm not too surprised about, given that it was not long service and MOT'd earlier this year. So yeah, feeling pretty confident with that. We've also given it a fresh service as well. So my customer who's buying that will be here tomorrow morning. So he's traveling a long distance from London. We've had a few people buy cars from London as of late, but I'm pretty pleased with the car. I have mentioned to him, you know, we do bear in mind that it has done 100,000 miles, but it is a really nice car considering it's done 100,000 miles. You know, we have to bear in mind there is the odd mark here and there, but he seems dead keen, really pleased, and quite excited for it. So that's really good news. Managed to get the Jaguar XJL, the long wheelbase. That one's now looking good. I'll show you that one outside. That one's now looking good. And I managed to stay on, which is why I'm obviously finishing just after 7 now, to photograph it, because I mentioned in one of my previous videos the shadow comes over the photograph area in such a way that it covers the whole car and you can work with it quite well. But that's looking great. It is a mighty long car. So yeah, really pleased I've managed to get that one photographed and advertised. And then whilst I was doing that, Soph this afternoon was cleaning the Range Rover SVO autobiography interior, and that has come up ever so well, because obviously with leather you've got to use the right stuff, you've got to use the right techniques to make sure that it looks what it needs to be. So that's in the showroom now. I won't open the door just because we've got our aromatic machine plugged into it, which essentially is making it smell nice. It's a odor neutralizer and also makes it smell good. But I am so pleased to have this in stock. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. So the plan is tomorrow morning to come in relatively early, get that outside, wash the exterior, make sure that that's all good for the photos. So I'll get that done first thing tomorrow before the handover of the GLE, which hopefully he will like. But of course, I'll keep you updated on that. But yeah, the plan is now get these boys home, get myself home, and yeah, see you in the morning. Okay, so it's the Tuesday update now, and I plan to do a video first thing this morning, but I just haven't stopped since I got in. I've had a pretty full-on day already. We're coming up at 10 to 3 now in the afternoon, of which my customers come down from London to have a look at the GLE. Very, very happy with it, and actually saw the videos of our previous weekly updates to see us with our preparation process of polishing, etc. So was pretty confident coming into it, but obviously it's always nice when it meets expectations. So yeah, he's driven it, he's very happy, he's on his way back home now, and yeah, smiles all round, so that's always really good news. So if you're watching this one, thank you for making the journey, really do appreciate it. Also managed to pick up the Range Rover this morning that went to John to have the smart repair done, so that's now all looking as it should along the rear. He also did a bit of a repair down both sides of the bumper, so that is now looking far better, which means that we're going to get that one into the showroom next to do an interior clean. As I say, I don't have to redo the photos on that one because we still have it from when we last advertised it, but what we do like to make sure, of course, is that everything's right and clean on the car before we advertise it. So we're going to put that one into the showroom to clean that one up. The interior of the SVO autobiography has all been cleaned, of which now I'm going to clean the exterior so that we can do the photos and advertise it this afternoon. So really pleased about that one. Also got another bit of stock, which is just down here. It is a Jaguar XF in white with the ivory leather interior, so a nice colour combination. It's the 2-litre diesel Ingenium engine, but it is petrol, sorry, 2-litre petrol engine, which is the better engine to have over the diesel. So quite pleased about that one there. Alloy wheels need a bit of a refurb. Not much prep on the exterior, which is always nice, and the mileage is low. It's only done 32 something thousand miles, so good bit of stock for that there as well, which is nice. Also had an update from Western Towing regarding my trailer. Turns out that the broken leaf spring has then gone on to have an adverse effect on some of the brackets and stuff that are holding on the A-frame, etc., because it's all managed to basically wiggle itself loose. So going to need a little bit more than anticipated on my trailer, which puts a little bit of the spanner in the works, because of course I had it in my mind to go up on a Wednesday morning, i.e. tomorrow morning, with my trailer to collect my customer's car. So we've got to come up with a different plan for that, whether it is that we hire a trailer from the place that's doing the repairs. I'm hoping that they've got one that's available, or if not, then I'll have to kind of lean on the friends of of the trade that we're in and see if I can borrow a trailer just to get that car back from Exeter, because I don't want to let them down, and I don't want it to be that we have to reorganise the appointment again on that there. So yeah, pretty full on day, because obviously come in, had to clean the GLE, make sure that was ready for handover. The interior was done yesterday, but I wanted to do the exterior and get that all looking nice. And then of course there's the actual time that we spend doing the handover, and then a few phone calls to make with customers, etc., and part suppliers, blah blah blah, always goes through and takes more time than one would think. But yeah, we're going to get that one into the showroom, the Range Rover Sport, so we can clean the interior of that, which then frees up a little bit of space for me to clean the SVO Autobiography, and the hopes to get that advertised today. And then we'll crack on with the Jaguar, which has actually turned up pretty clean, the XF estate, so won't need too much of a prep. But yeah, we'll just make sure it is what it is and what it needs to be before we photograph and advertise that. But that's most likely going to be tomorrow. But again, that all depends on the trailer scenario and what we can work out on that there. So yeah, that's Tuesday, and then hopefully we'll pick up before the end of the day with good news about the SVO Autobiography. Okay, so it is now Wednesday, about 1:20 to be precise, and this morning has been another morning which hasn't necessarily gone to plan. It seems to be a running theme of the mornings of this week, but by the by, we're going to get there in the end. So I spoke with Western Towing, who have got my trailer in. At the same time, I said, look, you may as well, whilst you've got it, it's been a couple of years since it's had a good service, go through absolutely everything and tell me what and how much it will be in terms of what it needs. So yeah, it's having a proper birthday, and I mean, like, it's having all new brakes, tyres, there's a couple of wheel bearings which I'm going to replace because they've done a fair few miles, and I'm not exactly picking up light stuff on the trailer because a lot of my stock is this type of thing where it's big Range Rovers and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm going to give it a proper good birthday. It's not cheap by any means. I think everything has been totaled up at the moment, and bearing in mind, we are going full hog on it in the sense that I want it all to be right. It's going to be about 1,300 quid plus the VAT. But if I have to spend that on my trailer every 2 years for the amount that I use it and the distance that it does, swings and roundabouts, that's not actually too unnecessary to do so. So yeah, that's where that is. But then obviously that also meant that I couldn't then collect the Porsche because they're still waiting on parts to do my trailer, and I absolutely did not want to let my customers down with the Porsche to get it to the specialist that we had it booked in for the aircon compressor. And there's also another couple of bits as well where it's, as I mentioned previously, it's come up saying that it's got a cooling issue on the battery side of things, which everyone is of the mindset, including the specialist, it's just a sensor, but it's not worth the risk and actually driving it down and causing any damage if it was to be anything more sinister. So yeah, couldn't let them down. So got a recovery company that we've used previously and that were recommended to us to take it from Exeter to the specialist. It's only about 35 miles or so, but obviously there's call out charges and there's the weight of the Panamera in the first place. So that's actually cost me about £160 plus the VAT just to get it back to the workshop. You haven't even started any work on it yet. But I guess if you put it in a comparison to the cost of the compressor, which is, as I say, is about 1,100 quid plus the VAT, by the by, let's get it done, rip the band-aid off and get that car sorted. So it is in hand, it is now at the specialist. They're going to be working on it over the next couple of days, looking into the cooling fault on the hybrid system and also looking at the aircon compressor unit as well. So yeah, that's a little bit of a headache going on. If you're familiar with last week's video, we had a red Range Rover Sport go out. Lovely car, 64 plate, only done 62,000 miles. They've been doing a lot of miles on it, to be fair, and a bit of towing. of which then when they were towing, they had a light come on, all to do with the ACE suspension system, which is the dynamic leveling system to keep it flat through corners and things. So again, that's looking like it's going to be something as simple as a sensor. So I've dropped that over to Totnes Cross because they've got all of the Land Rover diagnostics equipment to be able to plug it in and see exactly what's gone wrong and where. So they've actually, they don't mind actually. They've come back down from where they are in Bristol to with their caravan to stay a couple of nights just up the road. They says a little impromptu holiday if we can get that sorted. So again, very grateful that they're kind people in allowing. I mean, they've had Land Rovers for years beforehand. They says we know what it's like. A light can come on for any number of reasons, but the car drives absolutely fine. Just has that light, but we are of course going to get that sorted. So that's another kind of repair that we got going on. We've also got this Jag. I'll show you a little bit more about it this time. So this is the 25T 2019, so it's the facelifted one, of course. You don't see many of the estates about, and I quite like the colour combination. If it was my personal preference, I'd wish that the carpets were black rather than the grey, but the ivory is quite nice. No pan roof unfortunately on this one, but it is lovely low mileage, only done 29,740 miles. Decent spec as well. Got like the power fold mirrors, Meridian sound system, electric heated seats. Also got the Apple CarPlay and bits on the centre console. The wood trim's quite nice as well. It's a bit of an older person spec, but I think it won't hang around for too long given the area that we're in and all of that. But yeah, all in all, looks really good. You know, got the Goodyear tyres all round, which haven't done a lot of miles. Got a lovely service history on there as well. I think they've even done a gearbox flush just due to the age of it as well, because of course we are knocking on the doors of 6 years on that one. And then we're going to crack on. We're cleaning the rest of the forecourt cars while Sophie cleans the inside of that one. I should be doing the exteriors of these, which then should tie up time wise, so I can then photograph it and advertise that this afternoon. So that's the Wednesday update. I've also got the little 996 into the showroom because I had to jump start it last night because I've obviously had a bit of a move around on the forecourt, as I've mentioned. So yeah, I had to jump start that. It started all right today, but again, I'm going to get it on a trickle charger just to make sure that that tops the battery up nicely on there. At the same time, cleaning all the floor and everything in the showroom. So yeah, relatively productive Wednesday. Just a little bit frustrating that I couldn't go and pick up the Porsche as planned, but we've got it recovered. It's now at the place it needs to be, and yeah, we shall catch up later on. Okay, so Wednesday evening has very quickly rolled around, but we have got all of the cars clean again, so they're all looking good. Again, it'll be a couple of days before I'm cleaning them again. And I've just finished advertising this lovely Jaguar XF Portfolio Sport Brake. So as I say, it's a 2-litre petrol, which is a good engine choice to have. Only done 29,000 miles with a lovely service history to go with that, 2 keys, blah, 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 blah. And then we've also got this Range Rover, which is the one that went out a couple of weeks ago now. We were hoping it was just a simple sensor fault, but it's not. It is to do with the ACE system, which is the active cornering enhancement, which Range Rover Sport HSE Dynamics come equipped with. Essentially what that system does is it keeps the car level when going through corners. But this one here is quite a common fault on them apparently. We have had it once before, but never been that kind of bogged down with the issue. But essentially what it is the front ACE pipes, or the pipes that take the fluid from the reservoir to the front anti-roll bar, they've got a hairline crack in it and it's split in. So obviously when the pressure doesn't read back that it's at full pressure, it throws up that light and then cuts out the ACE system from working. So a little bit of a pain because it means we have to replace those pipes, even though it's just a one that's split. They only come as a set, and we only want to get the genuine ones because it's such a big job. We don't want to be doing it twice. So those genuine JLR ACE pipes, they cost about £400 or so to do, which it's not going to be too surprising if it's that again in labour, which is a bit of a pain. But again, updated my customer, said look, the good news is you're getting all 4 ACE pipes replaced. There is someone on eBay selling like repair kits. You can literally get like sections of the pipe that are split and just repair that one bit, but it's not really the way that we roll, only because I think you're only prolonging it. It's only going to become a headache 3 months down the line when another bit of pipe starting to split. So so we just thought we'd just get the whole lot done. So that's booked in for middle part of next week. So we've updated our customer. It's perfectly safe to drive, albeit annoying that the A system isn't working. It will just bring up that yellow light onto the dashboard. But he's again happy that he's getting a whole new A system fitted to the front. And then obviously that should last him years and years and years going forward. And we'll also get him to check out the rears as well. He says the rears look okay, possibly been done before, but the fronts need doing. So that's the update on that one. Not necessarily the news that we wanted, but again, not the end of the world. More just a nuisance really, because of course we're having to bring the car back, and customers having to come back to me to get it sorted. But it is a big job, so it's not something that we can just squeeze in an hour here or there. It's going to be like a majority of the day working on it, so we've had to rebook it. So yeah, good news that the Jag's been advertised. Bit of an annoyance on that, but we've already ordered the pipes. They're coming to us by the end of the week, and it's Wednesday now, so we'll get those in a couple of days. So yeah, not a bad Wednesday. Obviously got the Porsche down to where we needed it to get to. Trailer's having an enormous amount of work done on it, but at least then it brings it back up to the standard that we like things. And as I say, got a couple of bits done here. Car's all looking good, nice and sunny. But as I say, it's now 7 o'clock. And then I'm going to take these boys over to the field, because there's a field over at the holiday park over there, give them a good run around before heading home. So yeah, we'll pick up again in the morning. There are a couple of inquiries that have come through, so hopefully they'll come back to us tomorrow, but I'll update you on what they are. It's Thursday morning, of which my customer has already been in to collect their red Range Rover. So they're very, very happy actually. The wife in particular, because she gets to prolong her holiday for another week. So again, very grateful that they're so kind. So the pipe should be here either today stroke tomorrow, ready to have it back next week to get those pipes fitted. We've had yet another shift around on the forecourt, only because we're trying to hatch a plan to go and get a new bit of stock today, which I'm excited to show you, because it's got a very special paint to it, which I've not seen on one of these before. It's actually like a massively expensive paint to have from factory, so not had one of those before. Again, always like to try something different, and to be fair, the rest of it is really quite sellable spec, so I'll show you what that is shortly. At the same time, we're going to take the SVO Autobiography Range Rover over to Totnes Cross, as that's due an MOT, and it's also due a service as well, so I'll get them to just do the lot, because obviously it saves a lot of running around between the two workshops to get that done, and they've got time to do that today. So we're going to take that on the way to collecting the new bit of stock, which is from Max, which, if you're familiar with the channel, is a very regular trader of ours. We always get really nice bits from him. So yeah, looking forward to getting that back here. It does take a lot of time out of the day going to get that, and of course we do then have to be away from the showroom as well, especially since I don't have my trailer, because if I had my trailer I'd probably just hook that up so that Soph could stay here, handle the showroom side of things whilst I go and get a new bit of stock. But that's not really the plan for it today, unfortunately. But I do want to get that one back, so we can at least clean it and advertise it hopefully before the weekend. So that's the plan with that. And I didn't mention yesterday, the XJ is at the other workshop, so that's not long been MOT'd, that XJ, but it did come up on the dash saying it was due a service. So that again, getting serviced down at that workshop. And between both workshops we always use the genuine parts and oil recommendations and all of that the manufacturers use. And then of course, because we're part of the JLR topics kind of network, if you like, which is like a JLR specialist type thing, we can upload the service histories on both cars, so that it's all on the online history portals. So yeah, that's been done. Well, we took it down yesterday, it's finishing it up this morning. So we'll have the XJ back this afternoon as well, which of course, with all three bits back, will fill this nice big empty space that we've currently got on the forecourt. So yeah, that's the Thursday morning bit, but yeah, looking forward to getting this new bit of stock, and I'm looking forward to showing you what that is. But first things first, get the SVO over to Totnes Cross, and I really don't mind driving that across. So yeah, we'll catch up shortly. Oh, I tell you, it just about sums up my week. So it's actually Friday now. I was just editing the video to obviously release today, and I come to the video clip that I'd done yesterday afternoon after we got back from Max's with our new bit of stock to show you all around it. It was a good, I don't know, 8-9 minute clip, and the file had, the video file had corrupted basically when I tried to upload it. It uploaded it with absolutely no audio, and that wouldn't have been good watching for you guys. So I'm almost having to kind of do a backtrack recap of what happened yesterday afternoon, what we've collected, and another problem that has arose. But I think we'll start with a bit of good news. It is gorgeous weather on this Friday, and the weekend is so very nearly here. I tell you, it's a week that I can't wait to see the back end of. But we are still getting there. Very, very pleased with this new bit of stock, which I'm just about to show you. And I'm actually quite glad it is sunny today, because it does show off that special paint that I've mentioned. So it's one that we picked up from Max, as I've already said. It is a Range Rover Sport HSE. And the reason that I find it unusual is because it has a ridiculously expensive paint option, which I can't complain about because it looks absolutely stunning. So this is an SVO metallic paint palette blue, I think they called it, premium palette blue, and it is so metallic. You can just about see it on the camera how glittery that paintwork is, and I think it looks absolutely stunning on this car. I've not seen it on a car that isn't an SVO product. So this is a Range Rover Sport HSE. It is, of course, as you've seen, a 68 plate, so it is a facelifted variant of the Range Rover. It has only 2 owners from new, with the most fantastic service history, all with a main dealer Land Rover dealership. So it's 8 services in total, just been done in April of this year. Got some really nice 21-inch alloy wheels on there as well. Could do with a slight refurb, so we'll get those booked in to have that done. And it needs an almighty polish. It's what we call Devon Rash. It's so metallic on the paint, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how that happens, or how that comes up once I've given it a good polish. All the way down this side here, obviously hedges are our best friend, and then we've got a bit of a nasty one there, but again, I should be able to polish 90% of that out, I would have thought. So yeah, it's a bit of an unusual spec, because obviously that paint would have genuinely been a really expensive option. I'm talking like well into 4 figures type expensive to have that paintwork. But then there's a couple of bits that it doesn't have, which obviously whoever bought it from new decided what they were having on the car and unticked a couple of boxes, which I would have kind of kept on. So it doesn't have a panoramic sunroof, which is quite a big thing for a lot of people when buying these cars. But don't get me wrong, there are quite a few people out there that don't necessarily want a sunroof, or they're not fussed whether it has it or not. I think the paint will definitely help overcome that obstacle just because of what it is. So yeah, it doesn't have a sunroof, but it does have the Meridian sound system, which is great. It is absolutely disgusting inside. I've actually interrupted Soph cleaning this, so it was even worse than what it is now. I've interrupted her cleaning this so I can recap yesterday and show you guys the car on the video. Still got the trademark of Max. There's always an empty Costa cup in whatever it is that we're buying from him. It's just, as I say, it's a trademark. It's something that happens on every single one. But it is a HSE Dynamic. It is the 3-litre SDV6, and as I drove it back yesterday, I took it over the 70,000 mile mark. So it was on 69,900 and something. Max is about 80 miles away from us, so yeah, I've taken it over the 70,000 mile mark. As I mentioned, 2 owners from new with the most fantastic service history. Mechanically, you can tell it's been really well looked after. It drove ever so nicely. Nothing creaks, nothing bumps, nothing rattles or anything like that. It's a really solid drive. The tracking is slightly off on the steering wheel. I'd say about 4 degrees, 5 degrees off. So the tracking needs to be sorted, and that would also explain the last 2 advisories on the MOT, or the only 2 advisories on the last MOT, which was the tyre edges are wearing on the outer edge, which is of course to do with tracking. The centre of the tyre is really good, got a load of life left, but I think we'll still change them just because I like things to be advisory free when it goes through for the MOT. So yeah, we'll start it up. Need to top up the Add Blue, which is a very common thing on these nowadays. That's fine. So we need to refill that 15 litres. We've got some here, so I can do that. So that's nice and easy. But we've got obviously the 2 screens in the centre here. We've got the soft touch controls. We've got adaptive cruise control, so that would have been an additional extra. Lane departure warning. No heated steering wheel in this one here. But we do have the rear camera. I don't think it's the 360 cameras, no. So we got the rear camera and obviously front and rear parking sensors, heated seats in the front, heated seats in the rear. Everything else is really sellable spec. As I say, Meridian sound system. It's got the adaptive LED headlights on there as well. Just slightly strange, it doesn't have the panoramic roof, because a lot of them, like 90% of the Range Rovers do. But as I say, it's not for everyone. Whoever decided to spec this from the first place obviously didn't want that panoramic roof on there. But it's got a Meridian sound system, which is always good. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, all comes as standard on these later Range Rovers with the split screens here. So that's always good. Obviously digital dash, and it's still a gorgeous place to be. Really do enjoy these Range Rovers, and they're just becoming such good value these days as well. It's a 68 plate, which means it's now dropped the VED, which is the additional tax that they put onto cars with a list price of over £40,000, which of course this would have been. So it's only £195 a year to tax, which is great. And we bought this with, as I say, 70,000 miles, the most fantastic main dealer service history all throughout. Both original keys, really well maintained mechanically, albeit very grubby inside, but we're going to obviously valet it and polish it and bring it up to what it needs to be. And it's going to go on sale for, I think, $26,495. And I mean, a year ago, I was buying cars of this age and mileage for, you know, Range Rover Sports, and I'd be paying £35,000 for it. And that's obviously then not even retail. So that's trade. I'd be paying 34, 35. So they have, obviously, it's great for, it opens up an enormous amount of the market to people to be able to afford these cars. But it's quite a big dramatic kind of drop in prices over even the last 12 months on these Range Rovers, but they are just becoming such excellent value. And I always say it, because I'm a very big fan of the Range Rover product, is you do have to maintain them a little more than other cars, but I genuinely think that it is worth it, because the drive that you get and the styling of it and everything like that, I don't think there's much else that's better on the road. I really do stand by when I say that, because I just think they look fantastic. And in this SVO premium palette blue, and it's a genuine colour from factory, because it says on the online service history the colour of the car, which is of course this SVO premium palette paint. It would have been such an expensive option from new. I've not seen it not on an SVO product, so they obviously had in their mind they definitely wanted that colour. But then, as I say, they got a black pack, which is nice. So it's got a black roof, the black mirror caps, and a black trims and stuff around the bonnet vents, etc. Just odd that they wouldn't have the panoramic roof. I think that'd be the only thing that I would change on this car. The only thing that I would say was kind of missing. But I've already got customers that I can ring about it, and they're not too fussed whether a car has a panoramic roof or not. And I think the colour is going to really sell it, because that is stunning. So that's the good news. That's the good bit that happened yesterday. Unfortunately, I've had another problem, which again seems to be the running theme of this week, is Soph, my wife. She was following me in the Land Rover Defender, and unfortunately, as I was looking in the mirror, admiring my own truck, the driver's side headlight daytime running lamp, which is this bit here, was not illuminating. And it's a very common problem on Land Rover Defenders to have headlight issues. I'm fortunate in a respect that the headlight still works and the indicator still works, so it's still very safe, because there are some where the whole unit goes. And I was then on the phone to Roger Young, which are the Land Rover dealership down in Saltash. They are our parts supplier, and I was on the phone to them saying, you know, please, can you help me out? What is it? Is it a fix that we can do, or is it a replacement unit? And they say Land Rover will recommend that we replace the unit. And the unit, as in the headlight, is even trade to me, it's about £1,500 plus the VAT. It's like £1,480 something plus the VAT, plus the fitting, and they reckon it needs coding. So I thought, oh, of course it does. You know, I've got an enormously expensive week with repairs of the Porsche Panamera, the Range Rover, the trailer, and now I'm thinking, now my own Defender has got something that needs to be addressed. As I say, I need it to be right. I can't drive around with only one daytime running light. It just doesn't look right. So I ran home last night, literally ran home, and it's always good for stress and things like that when you do a bit of exercise. And then started to get into the research of it, because it is such a common problem. Is there a repair out there? And there is, which is great news. I saw a video from Powerful UK. They're really into their Land Rovers, and the guys over there are quite often the ones to pioneer fixes and things like this on the newer models. So essentially, watch the little video that they did. You can split the headlight. It's meant to be a sealed unit that's obviously not supposed to come apart, but you can bring it apart. You melt the glue and things off the lens, pull it apart, and then you can replace a tiny little module. It's about £58 to buy this module. After you strip some parts of the headlight, replace the module, put it all back together, silicone around the outside, and that will repair the daytime running light. And as I say, that £58 and the risk of doing that is a damn sight better than £1,500 plus the VAT. Or there's a company out there, or a couple of companies out there, that you can send the headlight unit to. They'll strip it, they'll replace the module, and they'll seal it back up. My only worry on doing all of it is the sealing back up, because it does need to be watertight. Obviously it needs to be weatherproof. And if they're well versed in doing it, I don't mind paying a little bit more to get that done. So that's about £299 to send it away. They'll carry out the repair, send it back to me, and then I'll fit it. I'm pretty competent in removing the headlight and putting it back in, and they'll guarantee it for a year. I just feel a little bit more comfortable doing it that way, just from the weatherproofing side of things as well, because silicone is a messy thing to work with anyway. And if they're well versed in doing it, they'll have all the bench set up and everything to kind of not make a mess of it. And I'd rather pay £299 to know it's been done right, rather than pay £58 for a module, completely mess it up myself, and end up paying £1,500 plus the VAT for a new light unit, etc., etc. So a nightmare, or a headache rather than a nightmare. But we will kind of liaise a plan with someone that can repair that for me. But I just thought, of course, that happens this week. It's another problem to kind of go wrong. And then the other side of things as well, the Jaguar XJ, it's a 3-litre V6 supercharged petrol. Finished the service up. I asked them to check the water pump, because water pumps are prone to failure on the JLR stuff, petrol engines. They're not expensive to buy, the genuine ones. They're about £100 to buy. It's worth just replacing that water pump on anything petrol before it goes out, for peace of mind, because obviously if a water pump goes, you've got to cook the engine. It becomes an enormous bill to repair that. So for the sake of £100 for the part and a couple of hours labour to replace it, we've decided we're going to do that as well. So we've got a water pump coming for the XJ, and then some more good news really. The SVO Autobiography Range Rover is all serviced and MOT'd with no advisories, so that's ready to rock and roll basically. So we've got to go and collect that later today, but the plan is I'm going to rinse this off now, bring it back into the showroom, let the paintwork get cool, and start polishing on that side. Hopefully I can get it done before the end of the day, but as I say, we've got a bit of running around to do. We're going to collect this car, etc., and Sophie's going to carry on cleaning the inside. So yeah, one of those weeks, but never mind, we are getting there. We are winning. As long as we win more than we lose, we're all good. So we'll catch up shortly. So that is the first side of the Range Rover polished. I've been using the Heavy Cut Evo X because there were some pretty deep hedge rash marks through the paintwork, but it's already looking so much better. I've got to go over it again now with a 9000 cut because the heavy cut stuff is very, very good at getting the marks out, but it does leave a little bit of a haziness to it. And of course, you don't want that when it gets the sunshine on it. But it is an amazing paint. I mean, that is just so pearlescent. I've never seen a paint like that. Absolutely gorgeous colour. It doesn't really look to be anything too special from a distance almost, but when you get up close or when the sun's on it and the light's on it, it really does come alive. And I also found out the cost of it as well. So this would have been a £5,000 additional extra to have the SVO premium metallic paint, but it is looking so much better with that polish. That's probably taken me about 40 minutes to do the first cut on the near side. I've then got to do it again on the other side, across the bonnet and front bumper and across the tailgate as well. And then of course, all over again with the 9000 to get rid of the haziness. But I think it's well worth doing because obviously it had pretty bad head trash beforehand and it would just make the car look absolutely bob on. And I've just gone over it with the 9000 cut now, and it is looking as it should. But as I say, that is just one side. Very, very happy with the purchase of this stock. But I am going to start to wrap this video up now because, of course, I still need to edit it or finish editing it to get it out to YouTube tonight. But we've also had the delivery of the Ace pipes for that red Range Rover. So that'll be going back in next week. It's starting to look a bit cleaner on the inside as well. Sophie's doing a great job. And we like lines in the boot as well, which is good. Eddie's obviously feeling the Friday mood, but yeah, it's been a week that I'm quite looking forward to finishing. I'll be in over the weekend to polish up this side and obviously the bonnet and the back and everything. Make sure that this car is ready to rock and roll. Obviously, we're not going to be able to advertise it this week because we just ran out of time. But thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you're still enjoying the weekly updates. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The numbers are growing. We really do appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you for the next one. Also, just a very quick thing to add, that mark did come out of the arch here, so very pleased with that. See you for the next one.